Thank you for our glorious music today, at my ordination, every day. It's always a delight. Have you ever heard a conversation like this one? How do you feel about, pause. The end of that sentence could be anything, from winning the lottery to not purchasing what looks like the house of your dreams. Or maybe it's a conversation about infertility or the political happenings of the day. Maybe it's even about having dinner, early or late. Really, the end of that sentence could be anything. I think the interesting part is in the answer. At the moment, I'm not interested in the content of the answer, but rather the depth or the heart of the answer. Does the answer start with the words I feel and then move into an emotional word, let's say mad, sad? Or does it start with the words I think? And then let's move on to other non-feeling words like you need to or the right decision is. In short, is that conversation that you have heard many times truly about what is going on in someone's heart, or is it about thoughts, intellect, and the life of the mind? I recall a long time ago somebody asking me about my feelings about something. I don't even remember what it was. And I answered, well, I think. And the person repeated the words, how do you feel? Then the person said, and this phrase has stuck with me, mad, sad, glad, or scared. I said to myself, with a bit of a lions and tigers and bears type tone, mad, sad, glad, or scared. It's a start on a list of emotions. But I believe this isn't the full range of motion, it's just a little prompt. I do not believe that this is the full palette from which one is painting when one is in touch with their feelings or choosing to act with guidance from their heart. Is that the breadth of the color scheme from which we can react to make heartfelt decisions? Well, scientists have a bit broader of a list of basic emotions. Indeed, instead of 4 emotions on my list, they stretch it to 8. Robert Putic, who is a medical doctor and psychological researcher, says that all of our emotions fit into this list. Fear, the feeling of being afraid. Anger, feeling mad. A stronger word for anger is rage. Sadness, feeling unhappy. Other words are sorrow, grief. A stronger feeling, for example, when something is lost or died. Joy, feeling happy. Other words are delight or gladness. Disgust, feeling something is wrong or nasty. Surprise, being unprepared for something. Trust, a positive emotion. Admiration is stronger, acceptance is weaker. And anticipation, in the sense of looking forward to something positively that is going to happen. Expectation is sort of the neutral term for that one. Is that it? Basically, Putic adds fear, disgust, surprise, and trust to that original list. But I just don't buy it. This is my last Sunday with you. My last Sunday preaching here at River Road. We know I'm a crier. We'll just work through it. Anyway, it's my last Sunday here as your intern. I wanted to tell you all I've learned and let you know how much I appreciate the ways that you have nurtured me and welcomed me into the congregation as an almost minister. I wanted to name your teachings and wisdom, your kindness, and the always open door that each of you has offered me throughout my time here. I wanted to tell you about my feelings, my multitude of rich, warm, responsive, and positively engaged feelings for you as a people and you as a congregation. And yes, you've been to some of my other sermons at which I've preached, and you're going to hear a few of those sort of golden oldies, the best ofs type thing. We're going there. There will be a reprise of some of those services. But first, let me remind you of the wisdom of Mr. Fred Rogers, who loved so many people that he met. Maybe we could even say he loved all of the people for being exactly who they were. He also said, there is no should or should not when it comes to having feelings. They're part of who we are, and their origins are beyond our control. When we can believe that, we may find it easier to make constructive choices about what to do with those feelings. That is one way we show our authenticity and act in the best interests of all. So, we've been authentic with one another. We have laughed and yet cried and prayed together through dark days such as our country and many of us as individuals never anticipated living through. Yes, we've expressed our authentic selves and listened deeply to one another. We've shared our feelings and moved together based on that sharing. Like that old-time Universalist theologian, Jane Lead, who felt her way into knowing that no human was damned, that we were guaranteed entrance to heaven through the love of God. We have moved together to wisdom and knowing. I wanted to let you know how much I've received from you. Mark Nepo said, the gift in receiving is that through such openness, we apprehend the world. You have helped me apprehend the world and develop as a minister. You have been open to receiving from me. And I've made mistakes. I love the expression, you are bound to step on someone's feet when you are dancing close. Think of it, people dancing in a line or doing a belly dance or a freestyle dance. Imagine something where you aren't touching your partner. Maybe you are inches or even feet away from your partner. Maybe you don't have a partner at all. At some level, that's pretty safe, isn't it? But now let's talk about emotions, not choreography. Can we bring the dancers closer together? A waltz or a box step or even a tango. When we dance closely in relationship, and this is here, this is in life, this is everywhere, toes may be stepped on. When you are dancing close, you are emotionally risking much. Thank you for forgiving me when I've erred. Thank you for forgiving me and one another when the shoe inadvertently comes down on your toes when we've been dancing close. I am so grateful to you here. Sunday after Sunday, you show up. You work at the bazaars, you support one another through joys and sorrows, and you do the often difficult work of social and racial justice making. You have shown up for years in cold or hot or wet weather for Black Lives Matter vigils. You have give generously of your time, your talent, your heart, and your financial resources. You do it! You do it again and again, and I can't say how thankful I am that we have been here together after a shooting, or after an election that broke many of our hearts, or a day in our personal lives that didn't just go the way that we'd wanted it to or hoped. And hope. What about hope? Isn't that a feeling? Isn't it a feeling when we come together in worship and the service ends with the conviction that there is something better out there, something we can change, something we can believe in that will lift us all up? We all need hope so much, and we give it and get it here in this congregation. To me, hope is an emotion. And then there's love. Yes, in addition to feeling of authenticity, receiving, giving, forgiving, gratitude, and hope, all emotions left out of a researcher's list, we have love. You know, love isn't just on that emotions list, missing from that emotions list, the long or the short one. How can that be? I am talking about all kinds of love. I am talking about revolutionary love of the type that moves the arc of the moral universe towards justice. I am talking about romantic and personal love. I'm talking about the love of friends for one another, love for our earth, love for our furry and not furry companions, the love that we feel for one another as congregants and ministers, the love we feel for those who need us to side with them, the dancing and movement and song as expressive tool to manifest love and bring it to earth. And yes, love as a decision-making tool. We used to say standing on the side of love, and now we say siding with love. And either way, that speaks to our using our feelings in addition to our heads to make our decisions as to what to do next, as to how to behave, as to how generous to be, as to who to forgive. In all of these moments, we are siding with love, the greatest emotion of all, whatever the scientists say. So now I'm saying goodbye. And like all goodbyes, that is complex. So the last thing I have to learn from you is how to leave. That means I won't be around for a year or so. That means that those of you with whom I'm friends on Facebook, I'll be disconnecting from for at least a year come September 1st. I'll no longer be on congregational emails. All of that is the remarkable final lesson of this remarkable internship. How to leave when I have learned to love you all. And I will be happy to say hi if I run into you on the street or maybe at the bazaar. Goodbye to all of you wonderful people as individuals, and to this congregation, to staff, and to the beautiful space, to all we've been to one another. And you know, I'm feeling all those emotions that the scientists didn't list. I'm feeling gratitude and hope, and most of all, love for all of you and this experience. Goodbye, dear ones. Blessed be. Amen and Ashe.